Here's the truth. Every single month, 95% of creative freelancers make a simple mistake that lets surprise taxes chip away at their income. Don't delay. This one misunderstanding costs creatives over $10,000 by year's end, money just left on the table. It's the mistake of not knowing what being a 1099 contractor truly time means for your wallet. Together, let's stop that from happening to you, starting right now. Before we dive in, I want to be crystal clear. I'm a financial educator, not a licensed financial advisor. The ideas we talk about here are for educational purposes, to help you build awareness and ask better questions. This isn't personalized financial advice, so please always consult with a qualified professional for your unique situation. Okay, let's get into it. The root of this isn't about numbers or spreadsheets. It's deeper. It's a conflict that lives inside so many of us who create for a living. On one side, you have the artist, the part of you that wants to make beautiful, meaningful work without compromise, the part that cringes at the thought of being a salesperson. And on the other side, you have the business owner, the person who needs to send invoices, track expenses, and yes, deal with taxes. We're often taught to see these two as separate, even opposing forces. We tell ourselves, I'm a musician, not an accountant, or I'm a designer, not a CEO. We believe that focusing too much on the money will somehow corrupt the art. But this separation is a trap. It's what causes us to say yes to a lowball offer because we're uncomfortable negotiating. It's what makes us put off looking at our finances until we're blindsided by a surprise tax bill at the end of the year. We subconsciously devalue the business part of our craft, and in doing so, we unintentionally devalue the craft itself. We treat the financial side as an afterthought, and that's precisely where the money you've earned slips away. So what if this separation between artist and entrepreneur is a myth? What if there's a single, timeless principle that could bring these two halves together, allowing you to not only protect your income, but also fuel your creativity? That principle is the tiny law of reciprocal value. It's as old as commerce itself, yet it's the one we creatives so often forget. It simply states that for a relationship to be sustainable, whether with a client, an audience, or even with yourself, the value given must be met with equal value received. This isn't just about money for hours worked. That's a factory mindset. For a creative professional, value is so much more. It's the solution you provide, the problem you solve, the feeling you evoke, the story you tell. It's the peace of mind a client gets knowing their project is in expert hands. That is the immense value you give. The value you receive is the money that keeps your lights on, yes. But it's also the resource that allows you to buy better tools, to take a class to sharpen your skills, to afford the time off you need to recharge your creative batteries. It's the fuel for your artistic engine. When you send an invoice, you aren't being a salesperson. You are simply completing the circle of value that began when you first picked up your camera, your pen, or your instrument. Thinking about your finances isn't a distraction from the art. It is the very act of stewarding the resources that make the art possible. This is how we heal the split between the artist and the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur doesn't exist to corrupt the artist. They exist to protect the artist. By ensuring a fair exchange of value, the business owner in you creates a safe, stable container in which the artist in you is free to do their most brilliant, unencumbered work. When you undercharge, you are not just hurting your bank account. You are starving your own creativity of the resources it needs to thrive. You are telling your artist self that their work isn't truly valuable. But when you understand and honor this reciprocal exchange, negotiating your rate becomes an act of self-respect. Paying your taxes becomes an investment in your career's legitimacy. Tracking your expenses becomes a map of how you're fueling your own creative journey. Now, I know this might still feel a bit abstract, a little business school. So to make this principle tangible, let's look at it through a lens we all, as creatives, instinctively understand. Let's use an analogy from a world built on energy, resources, and growth. Think of yourself as a master woodworker. The creative act, the design, the carving, the sanding, is you shaping a beautiful piece of furniture from a raw block of wood. That is the art. It's where your soul and skill become one. You pour your energy into it, and the result is something of immense value, something that can bring joy or utility to someone's life for years. But what happens after the last coat of finish is applied? The piece just sits in your workshop. It's complete, but its purpose isn't fulfilled. The business part of your craft is building the bridge from your workshop to the client's home. Sending an invoice is the first plank of that bridge. Tracking your expenses is ensuring the bridge is strong and can hold the weight. And setting aside money for taxes is the maintenance that keeps that bridge intact year after year, so you can keep sending your work out into the world. A beautiful chair that never leaves the workshop is just a sculpture. It's the bridge that allows it to become furniture. It completes the circle of value. Without the bridge, your workshop just fills up with beautiful, unsold things until there's no room left to create. So if we're already masters of our craft, what stops us from becoming the master of the bridge that delivers it? The only thing stopping us is a story we tell ourselves. It's the quiet, internal narrative that says we are simply the hands that do the work, not the mind that runs the business. We see ourselves as waiting for the next project, hoping for a fair rate, reacting to the demands of clients and the tax code. This is the passive artist mindset, where we are passengers in our own careers. The shift we need to make is from passenger to pilot. It's the decision to stop identifying as an artist who has to deal with money and start embodying the identity of a creative professional. This isn't just semantics, it's a fundamental change in your relationship with your work. A creative professional doesn't just make things. They create the entire system in which their art can be made, valued, and sustained. They don't just react to a client's budget. They proactively communicate their value. They don't get surprised by taxes. They plan for them as a predictable cost of doing business. This shift moves you from a position of hoping for the best to a position of building for it. It's the difference between waiting for someone to give you permission and giving it to yourself. It's the realization that you are not just the talent. You are the CEO of a one-person creative enterprise. So, with this mindset of ownership as our foundation, let's bring everything we've talked about together into a clear, actionable plan. Let's look at the blueprint. So here it is, the foundational piece of your blueprint. You are not just the talent. You are the CEO of your creative enterprise. Your artist self and your business self aren't at war. They are partners. The business owner's job is to build a strong financial container, so the artist has the freedom and resources to do their most profound work. This isn't about changing who you are. It's about integrating these two essential parts of your professional identity to fully honor the value you create in the world. Now, I want to hear from you. What is one story you've told yourself about money that this new mindset helps you challenge? Share it in the comments below. And if you're ready to build on this foundation, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Together, we'll continue to build your blueprint, piece by piece.